Oh, the coffee is good. I think it is cold in here.
It is. For some reason, earlier this morning, the temperature still says the same, like on the wall face of the thermostat, but It got real cold in the room.
And I don't want to tell anybody that. I don't want anybody to make any changes.
I'd rather bring in a coat tomorrow than it suddenly becomes super hot.
Yeah,
so
then Nikki and I are in here in athleisure, trying to get the sweat wicked away. Yeah.
Better cold than hot.
Mm-hmm.
So in this Worst of Riot podcast, we actually did a food fight, which you can watch when the podcast is over.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to see what the studio looks like, you'd be like, oh, that's the cold studio. You can check out Radio U Riot on Facebook or Radio U Riot on our YouTube channel to follow both of those places. But we tried the mystery flavor from Mountain Dew called Voodoo.
Voodoo.
For your Riot food fight for today.
We also talk about the importance of following your heart. The iPhone 11, Borderlands 3, Gears 5, breaking Twitter. I broke the Twitter.
You did. You broke Radio U on Twitter.
I broke the Twitter. A little more on Jeopardy, Cement, GameStop, Gym Buddies. And, oh man, the best thing in the whole podcast revolves around Colonel Sanders. I'm just telling you.
And something free. So you need to remember September 24th when that story comes around. We have to remember September 24th because you need to plan to do an Obadiah Plays that day.
I know. I do.
Like you have to schedule that all.
Because it's a Colonel Sanders dating sim, okay? And if you don't do anything else, I know that we all have a lot going on.
We do. It's busy.
But I will just tell you that today you owe it to yourself to stop by the Riot's Facebook page and see the Colonel Sanders dating sim video. You have to see it, guys.
We don't ask a lot, do we?
No.
We don't say every day you must go there. We just suggest that it's there. But today there's something you really should be watching.
I just feel like you need to see it. So you guys enjoy that. Have a great, what's today?
Today's Wednesday.
Have a great Wednesday.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.
The definition of insanity is putting the riot on again and again and expecting a better result. It's the Worst of the Riot on Radio U.
I want to say to you guys what I said to Nikki a few minutes ago off air, because I feel like this is the guiding principle that we need to live our lives by today.
It's important to hear again.
You know what? I don't want you to do anything today that's not in your heart. And
then I don't think anybody's going to be doing anything.
If it's not in your heart to get out of bed this morning, you should stay in bed.
No one said that.
Actually, Nikki, I said that.
Okay.
If it's not in your heart to go.
Then just don't go.
If it's not in your heart to go, don't go.
Well,
all right?
Your heart can be fickle, though. And I thought we weren't supposed to lead, just by the heart.
Whatsoever. No, wait. What the heart wants.
Uh-huh.
No, you know what? I like that better. Whatsoever the heart wanteth, the heart wanteth.
Yeah.
And so that's why, again, today, you got to follow your heart. You got to lead with your heart. That's what
I see from here, like forward thinking Obie and Nikki and all the listeners who are like, oh my gosh, Obie said I don't have to. It's right. Not in my heart. I don't need to. And I see that being a problem down the road. And then your heart is sad because everything didn't work out.
Well, here's what I'm thinking is I think that you should. Today is going to be a day that you're going to live your life based only on movie cliches.
Now that's something right there.
So, you know what? If it's not in your heart, I don't think you should do it. So, today, I'm not saying every day has to be like this, even though it should be, because your heart's the most important thing. I want you to lead with, follow, and be in your heart all day. Okay?
Okay.
So
we got it down.
Now, that's the rest of the show. I'm leaving.
Okay.
And,
because it's not in your heart.
It's just not in my heart. And it doesn't mean I don't love you guys like I do.
I told you guys a second ago about.
The thing is, it is in my heart to do the show, a few hours from now. Not right now. Not now.
Maybe not until Thursday or Friday.
Well, I even think later today. I'm thinking 3-4 this afternoon.
Oh, it'll be more in line with what your heart is desiring.
Yeah. Riot Jammy edition. So
Hudson will be excited. Hudson won't have to come in and be like, hey, that's great.
Well, we'll have to see what's in his heart.
Yeah. Oh, yes, you're right. To see what works for him.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah, we could do that, I guess.
What's in your heart?
The Riot is well-versed on many different topics.
They're shy at first, but they're quite skilled at conversation.
This is The Riot on Radio U.
And I want you to know something right now. Morning show teams that buy Godzilla together.
Stay together.
Stay together.
Did you end up buying it?
Yeah, you were supposed to talk me out of it.
No, not at that price. I don't think I can do that. I was like, sure, whatever.
I texted Nikki last night. I was like, hey, Godzilla's on sale. Streaming only. And it was Godzilla King of Monsters, the one that came out this summer that apparently didn't make all the monies. So
already on sale.
It's not a good sign.
That's all right.
I think it's been on Blu-ray for a whole week. But this was, again, digital only. So I sent it to her, and then I was like, I should wait for the disc. And I hate myself. I just sat in my basement for a while, just looking at it like, what are you doing?
What do I do right now?
Let's not get it. Let's wait. You want the disc, wait on the disc, and it'll come with a digital copy. And I texted Nikki, I was like, I've been sitting here for like 5 minutes. She's like, what are you doing? Just get it. So I did. I
bought it too.
I was like, whatever's in Nikki's heart, I'm in.
Well, I told Obi, how great will it be now? You have the freedom to digitally, you can watch it, but
anytime.
Then you can really sit and wait out for the 4K.
Yeah,
like you could just let that get as low as possible.
And in fairness, the copy we bought was in 4K, so I can. You
can still, just not having the actual case for it, but you can buy that if you want to. For $9, come on.
It was hard to pass up. And, I did the same thing with Mission Impossible Fallout. The one from last summer. Well, like 2 summers. The latest Mission Impossible movie.
Sure.
I just bought it digitally. And then when it came down to it, I was like,
that's good enough.
It's good enough.
Hey, what's in the heart, right? Just good enough.
Yeah. That's right, Nikki.
But now you can at least watch something.
Yeah. So
and then if you want to buy anything bigger than that packaging-wise, you could just, like I said, sit and wait.
Yeah. So... you want to get together and watch it? Or wait, you know what we should do? Oh, my gosh.
What should we do?
Okay. So
whose digital copy should we be watching?
No. I think that you and I'll just call you. We'll FaceTime.
We'll just watch one.
We'll sync up the movie so we can be watching it at the same time.
I think that's amazing.
And then we could just, still, it's like we're together, but we're also not together.
But we're watching Godzilla.
So we can still be friends.
I actually want to watch it. I meant to see it in theaters, but...
I think you'll enjoy it.
It apparently didn't grab my attention enough to make the time to do it, but I enjoyed the one before it, so I think I'll enjoy this one.
Lots of strong feelings out there about this movie.
But for the price we paid and for watching it at home, there's really a low level of investment.
Oh, yeah.
With time and effort and emotions. I think we're just fine.
Yeah, I feel good about it. I do. And I'm looking forward to watching it again. I've only seen it the one time. So.
We are investors.
Yeah.
We're making choices.
Uh-huh. That's right. So, and we're letting our heart lead us.
Uh-huh. And so we're ready to go.
Fantastic.
If anybody wants the Godzilla thing, I don't know if it's still a deal, but...
is it still on sale? Basically, every freaking digital outlet yesterday had it on sale. And what's really funny, and this is amazing... no, it's not. What am I saying? It's not amazing, and it doesn't matter. I'm about to say the dumbest thing in my whole life. Is that it had been on sale? It had been on sale all day, yes. And I didn't realize it.
Oh my gosh, what's going on?
Oh my gosh!
Why are you not paying attention to these sales? What happened yesterday? I feel like that was a bit of a fail.
Really dropped the ball. Really dropped the ball.
You're like, this is the stupidest thing I'm ever going to say. I didn't notice the Godzilla sale until later in the day.
Who
cares? We did. We both bought it.
No, I mean, I do. It's fine.
It's all right.
I feel good.
Well, you need to revisit your alerts. What are you following?
Where were you, Google?
How often are you checking it?
The Riot. They're kind of a big deal.
Hey, can we do that again? Maybe a little more energy?
No. Radio U.
I don't understand how we completely lost track of it yesterday. And maybe you didn't, Nikki, but Apple had a big press conference yesterday.
They did, yeah.
They unveiled the iPhone 11.
They did.
So
we just didn't talk about it yesterday morning. There was a lot of speculation, but obviously the conference happened after our show.
Okay, so here's what we got. You had the iPhone 11, $699. Mm-hmm. Then there's the iPhone 11 Pro, $999.
And then
the Pro Max,
which is the biggest one,
$1,099. Pre-orders start Friday, and they believe they'll start shipping September 20th.
Okay.
Other things that they unveiled is a new iPad, which is a little bit bigger. It's a 10.2-inch iPad, $329, which...
Gosh, the price just seems to still be going down on those.
I know. That, to me, I realize like $300 isn't nothing, but
if you go back a few years ago, that is something.
That's really not bad. So there's that. They had the Series 5 watch, which they unveiled, and they also unveiled pricing for their arcade service, which will be basically a gaming service with 100 different games that they'll rotate in and out. You can play on Mac, you can play on
your phone,
and you can play on an Apple TV. That's going to be $4.99 a month. And then their Apple Plus TV service, or I guess it's TV Plus, that will also be $4.99 a month. Shots fired!
All right, everybody.
Netflix, you're starting to like...
Netflix keeps going up and up and up, but I think I feel like, is the catalog going to be as big on this one?
I'm sure that it won't.
I don't even think this one will be as strong as the Disney Plus one.
I don't either. Though I did watch, did you watch the preview for, what's it called, Eyes or something like that with Jason Momoa?
Yes, I did.
That looks really interesting.
It does, but you know, the Apple TV, that one is going to be relying on a lot of newer products, like newer TV shows and newer movies, which is a hard sell.
I'll have to say that was one that I was surprised by. The other thing I like, though, as I recall, didn't Apple say that their content was going to be premium, but like quote unquote family friendly? It's
supposed to be more family friendly, yes.
Because watching that Eyes preview, I was like, oh yeah, if everyone's blind, then everyone's naked.
I don't think it's supposed to be that way.
So if it's not like that, I mean, I'll just be honest. Like, I could use some really good content that is not like really good content sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
Like, we're actually looking for a story sometimes.
I know.
So maybe that'll be something.
So I don't know. Like, I could be interested in that. But then, of course, like, I have so many services now and I don't watch any of them. So
what's another $5 here and there?
So was there anything else? Like, okay, Nikki, you're my thermometer, my temperature, you're my sign. Like, tell me, does it matter? Do you want an iPhone 11 or is it like,
For the 11 Pro Max would be what I was shooting for. The only thing I still get disappointed is, you know, I watched the little promo commercial for it. They're like, they're hosing the thing down. Like, they're just showing like, oh, it's great in water and all that stuff. And it's, the best glass ever. I would really like a phone that I don't have to put a case on, that I won't shatter every day. But
they can't do that.
Why can't they? Why do I have to have more camera stuff? Why can't I just have a phone that won't be destroyed?
Well, here's my opinion of why we see the cameras getting better, but basically nothing else. It's the only thing they have left they can truly innovate on.
That they can improve.
They can improve those cameras, but the display, like, all right, like they've got like QOLED, whatever. And it's like, it's so bright, it'll burn your retinas out. I mean, at some point, like, the human being becomes the limitations.
Sure.
Like, they can't innovate there very much.
We hit the wall.
They can only charge you so much for like all these different things. But the camera is something that, I don't know if you've noticed, people love taking pictures of themselves.
That is true, and I saw
their environment.
I saw the pet feature, so it helps with your pets as you take pictures. It looks good, and the price is the price is there. The price is what it is.
Well, is it enough for you to care? Like, enough for you to be like, hey, I got to steal my mom's upgrade this time?
You know what? She offers it. Okay. I don't know. I always say that. I don't even want to say it because every time I say no, I don't think I will. I always do.
You end up doing it.
I say no comment on it.
The only thing I'll say is that Cinnamon Sugar Pop-Tarts on Instagram might need this as an investment.
It's a business expense.
It is.
For my puppies, for me, just for our social media empire.
Right, that you're building right now. It's an investment.
You're right. What I have is probably not good enough.
All right. So I will tell you, Nikki, for 1/10 the price, I can get you a phone that has a terrible camera.
Really?
Yes.
And is it for sale? Like, is it in this room? Can I see it? Play around with it a little bit?
I have last year's model here that you can look at.
But I'll probably get the new one.
I mean, just to be clear, as long as you're in a very well-lit room where the subject holds completely still, you can get a pretty good picture.
I don't know if my dogs are going to be able to work with that then.
So what do you think?
Maybe I'll get the Apple one.
The worst podcast with the best listeners. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
So it's September 11th. So this would be the 18th anniversary of what happened September 11th, 2001. So there's that. I also have been looking at, there was I was not overly familiar with the guy, but apparently a lot of the people I know knew him. And that was that there was a kind of a high profile guy who had committed suicide yesterday.
Oh, yeah. He was a pastor? Or?
I don't know if he's a pastor or a worship leader. I haven't really dug into it yet. I've just seen it all in every feed that I have going on. And, he actually spent a lot of time reaching out to people who were struggling with depression and all these different things. And then yesterday he died. So I've been thinking about it because, like, who wants to talk about dying, right? Nobody does. But it's that funny thing where it's like, yeah, but we're all going to. And I think that's probably part of why we don't like to talk about it. We don't want to think about the people we love, not being around. We don't want to think about ourselves not being around. So this is what I've been thinking about. Isn't it kind of awesome that God is willing to talk about that? Think about that for just a minute. A lot of times when we're praying, we're like, God, I want a pony, and I need a new car, and I need rent for this month. So in that order, I would like to receive these things.
The pony can't be the car also. I need both.
I need both. One's for fun and one's for business, okay? But God is willing to, he's not just concerned about life, but, the end of life and what happens after the end of life. And I mean, if you think about it, guys, that's kind of awesome, because it would be really easy for me to talk to you about just happy, like, whatever kind of stuff. But God's willing to talk about the things we don't want to talk about. So what is it in your life that you need help with that you don't want to talk about? The stuff that you'd rather bury, the stuff you'd rather not think about. Because I want you to know something. God is willing to have the hard conversations with you. He's willing to listen to the tough things that you have to say. He's willing to walk with you through grief. When everybody else is done and they're like, okay, you're still on that, but you're still grieving, God is willing to continue to walk with you through that. So look, if you feel like there are these things you don't want to talk about, that everybody else is over, like whatever it is, I want you to know that you can talk to God about it. Whether it was something that happened 18 years ago, 18 months ago, or last night, and just talk to him. If you don't have a relationship with God, just start it right now. Say, Jesus, I want that. I want you to come into my life. I want you to fill me with your spirit. I'm still on this, and I need to talk about it, and I need your help. And that's where you can start. Again, it's not going to be always a matter of just snapping your fingers, but the thing is, God's got time, and he's got time for you.
A Rotten Tomatoes score so high, they refuse to make it public. The Riot on Radio U.
Of course, like any person, when I saw this, I assumed it had to not be real.
But it is real.
But let me tell you what, guys. Right now, I'm watching the promo video for I Love You, Colonel Sanders. It's a KFC dating sim that is being released on Steam.
It's legit.
For free.
Yeah.
September 24th. And it's amazing. You've never said to yourself, what I want more than anything in my whole life is a Colonel Sanders anime.
Well, you didn't realize what you were missing out.
This is a 30-second anime intro video that will blow your mind.
So basically,
my mind is blown.
You are trying to obtain a culinary arts degree while trying to date Colonel Harlan Sanders. That's the game. And it will be the kind of like, I guess back in April they had a virtual influencer version of him that was like a hot Colonel Sanders, and it's that style.
You know that it is, Nikki.
So it's going to contain secret recipes and a secret ending if you play the game the whole way through.
You have to see this. You have to. Even if you don't play the game and you hate original recipe Colonel Sanders.
You still must see the game.
You still have to see this. I posted it on the Riot's Facebook page, facebook.com/RadioURiot. And you know what? I'll tweet it as well because holy crap.
So it's not till Tuesday the 24th, and it'll start at 8 a.m., they said. And then you can download it for free. If you recall, a few years ago, they did a free, like, Colonel Sanders romance novel.
Oh, that's right.
Remember? So they've been known to kind of dabble in this stuff for free.
All right, well, here it is, Nikki. I'm putting it on at Radio U on Twitter as well.
It's just weird seeing Colonel Sanders in that style. Like the
say
hot
what you
style.
mean, Nikki. You're like, it's weird.
He looks pretty cute.
Nikki's like, it's weird that I'm attracted to Colonel Sanders right now. It's weird that I want the Colonel to come over with a bucket.
Yeah, it's like, I love you, Colonel Sanders. That's the game.
Wow. I don't know what else to say about it.
Are you going to do an Obadiah Plays with it?
Absolutely.
I think that'd be so much fun to watch.
Absolutely.
And they say you get a few hours gameplay out of it.
It's free.
So it's got something.
Man, again, you just need to see the video because anime Colonel Sanders, I never knew I needed that.
It's something.
But I need it now. I want to watch this show.
So it's up at Radio U Riot. If you go to our Facebook page, you can watch the little promo video for it, but not till the 24th.
Amazing.
We need a reminder set for that. We don't want to forget. What if we forget?
You know what? I think it's going to be everywhere.
It should be on the schedule. Like your upcoming events, it needs to be on the schedule.
I don't think we're going to forget about it, but we'll see.
The Riot has now been downloaded. I hope you installed some antivirus. This is the worst of the Riot podcast.
It is the Riots.
No. You're scooting away. I was like, you're going the wrong way.
I was, but I was right. I was still on time.
You was scooting back so much. I thought, oh my gosh, you're going to fall over or just leave the room.
You know what, Nikki? I was completely professional. I was ready when the moment was required, but I was stretching.
Okay.
Before we began.
I'm just glad you're all right. It was just enough to make me wonder.
I feel great, except I'm sleepy all the time. But, I mean, other than that, like, it's fine.
Now, you were sick on Monday, but you feel better from all that? Or still a headache? Or still not sure?
Okay.
Is it still a surprise?
Can I just tell you, last night, one of my roommates was like, hey, you need to try this. And I was like, well, no, it's got cheese in it. No cheese. And they're like, look, you got to establish a baseline. So you don't know, like, you know that mozzarella made you sick, but this is sharp cheddar. So it should be, and that's the thing. Like they say, the sharper the cheese,
the less likely it is to bother you if you're not having dairy.
Right. And so I was like, all right. I was like, fine. Just know that we live in the same space. So the consequences are shared.
We're all being punished.
Like we're all in this together. Right. And so, last night had some cheese. Not good. No,
not good. Okay. Yeah, I don't think.
I know, and I
don't think it's worth it.
I kept saying, like, I told you. Like, well, I didn't think it would be like that bad.
I thought there was differences between, like, some people get bothered by, like, milk, and some people get bothered by cheese. Some people get bothered by, is there any other dairy?
Well,
but not necessarily all at the same time.
Here's the other thing that I've learned is that apparently you can have, like, two kinds of dairy issues. You can have problem with a milk protein, and they say, like, if that's your issue, you're just screwed no matter what. Or it can be a lactase thing, like your body's not creating enough lactase to process.
Sure.
So last night I tried the cheese with no lactose pill, whatever, and it's fine. It was breezy.
I don't know if it was actually fine.
I'm fine.
You should probably get tested for that, don't you think? Can you get tested for that?
There are some tests that you can do, but
I mean, is it the same like when you get your back pricked for allergy tests? Like, is there a dairy one?
Last time I went and did the allergy thing, they were
Which, if you've never had, is the worst, especially if you're a grown up.
It's not great.
It's just like, oh my gosh.
Because when you're a kid, you can scream and it's fine. And as an adult,
my mom used to lie to me every time when I had to go get my back pricked, and we would always then go.
How often did you have to have that done?
Quite frequently. I had really bad allergies, and I would to like grass and trees, the important things here. And my mom would always take me to the Hello Kitty store to get some erasers, and that's when I knew
what was happening.
What sort of day it was.
Now
she'd take me to lunch, and I'd be like, "Wait, what are we tricking me for?"
You want to see Nikki freak out? Just hand her a Hello Kitty eraser, and she's like, "What's going on? What's going on?
Why do we gotta go?" It's like, no, it's fine.
Yeah.
Well, I guess maybe see if there is something you could do.
Why? Because, all right, well, here's the thing. I'll go in there and they're like, all right, we're going to shoot some milk under your skin.
Well, if there's a faster way, so you're not like having to deal with the consequences of trying things out.
No, I'm just done.
You're just not going to have it.
I'm just done. You know what? Yesterday, I was at this restaurant with a friend of mine, and they were like, oh, yeah, as part of your meal, you get this free pudding. And I was like, great. And then I was like,
no pudding.
I was like, I can't eat. I don't think I'm supposed to eat pudding. Like, I think the pudding might make me sick.
Probably.
So I skipped the pudding. Had some extra French fries.
Well, that worked out then.
So don't understand why I'm not losing any weight doing this thing.
I'm sure your body balanced right out.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's fine.
It's like we're not eating dairy anymore, but we're having a lot more potatoes.
I love potatoes. Do
potatoes love you?
Do they have a potato-based cheese? Is that a thing?
I bet you there could be. What an alternative.
Let's get to work on it right away.
Wow. Not only are you already awake, but you're listening to The Riot? Your day is off to a pretty rough start. The Riot on Radio U.
So about 20 minutes out from us doing a Riot food fight involving the new Mountain Dew flavors. So
yes,
there's that.
Mountain Dew, the Voodoo flavor.
Mm-hmm. Now, what I'm doing in the meantime is taking a look at what's happening this Friday. Nikki, are you familiar with the Borderlands?
Borderlands, yes, the game.
Borderlands 3 is out this Friday, and so I've been looking at...
Are you going back and forth? You going to buy it? You going to wait? You still have games to play.
You know what? I don't think I'm going to get it this weekend. Do you know what I've been having a great time with? Gears of War 5 is so good. It is.
I thought you were playing the other game.
No, I finished it.
You finished?
Yeah,
what was that?
Control.
Control.
That right there. Fantastic. Can't go wrong with that choice. Cannot. But Gears of War 5, I signed up for the Microsoft Game Pass, and you get your first 2 months for $2, which, of course, it's like any drug. Then they're like, well, we jacked up the price and whatever. But, yeah, that's what I've been playing, and I think... Now, I haven't played the online multiplayer, and there are new game modes. I've just been playing the campaign, and I think it's absolutely fantastic. I think the story is really good. In fact... surprisingly good. And I've been very surprised with just different things they've done. It looks amazing. It plays really well. I just think they have a real winner on their hands with Gears 5.
We're trying to be more adulting by finishing what we start.
Before we buy the next thing.
Before we move on to the next
just
game.
Just why we bought Godzilla last night.
Well, that was movies. That was different.
It doesn't count?
It can sit in the account. That was a good deal. But for games, before you start playing another one, finish the first one.
And the only way the game industry knows how to work is you release 20 games at once and then no games for 2 months.
I know they overload you at all the same time, and then they just leave everybody to sit with nothing the rest of the year.
Yeah. So I'm looking at Metacritic because I'm just kind of trying to get an idea. Right now, Gears 5 is sitting at 83, which, man, I don't know. I think it's better than that. Like, I haven't read these reviews.
What happens sometimes?
What?
You like something and
nobody else likes it?
No one else does. Okay. So if this is the end of Gears of War... No, just
I don't think it is, but we'll see, right? And then Metacritic score for Borderlands 3, 85. The other thing I'll say that I've been looking at, apparently a lot of people are complaining, the people at 2K, are they the ones that publish Borderlands? They sent out review copies, but only to like a very limited number of places because they say they're afraid that it will leak out before the game launches. And so a lot of people won't get their review codes till it releases to the public on Friday.
That's becoming more and more common, though. They actually don't want to know people's opinions.
Well,
they don't want to. They don't care. It's too late anyways. They can't change anything.
They want to control the message.
They don't want you to. Yeah, they don't want you to cause any problems and not sell some stuff.
Yeah, but it looks like a lot of people are saying that it's a lot of fun, but it's basically just more of the same. That's fine.
Well, Ryan, thanks for texting. He said, I missed Gears of War. Haven't played since 3.
Oh, dude. Gears 4 was great. I played through that over the last week or two because I never finished it. And Gears 5 picks up almost immediately after. And the thing, again, that I can't believe is how interested I am in the story. Because if you ask me what the story was of Gears 1 through 3, I don't have any idea. Something, Marcus Phoenix, and these things out of the ground.
But suddenly the story became interesting.
4 and 5, I'm like way into it. I don't know, whatever.
Maybe you're in a different place.
Maybe I am, Nikki.
You're ready to learn about the story.
I'm ready to learn about what sort of a gear one finds in a war.
Everything you love about the Riot, plus a handy-dandy fast-forward option. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
So apparently yesterday I broke everything.
Way to go.
Which, like, what?
I think it's just kind of a word that it looks for to make sure accounts are being fine. But yesterday we were joking. I don't even think it was on air, but we were checking. We have like a studio iPad.
We do,
and I don't use it too often because if you guys tweet at us or if you send us, a message on Instagram or on Facebook, we usually see it on our desktop or our phones.
Well, when we put the iPad in here, it made a ton of sense to have it, and now we don't use it as much.
Yes, at least it's not something that you and I use. The other DJs do use it,
right.
But someone had texted us on that instead of through our normal texting, which you guys can text anytime. 877-2-RADIO-U.
Here we are.
So someone put a lock code on the iPad, and since we never use it, we didn't even pay attention to it.
Right.
Eventually I found it, but you just as a joke tweeted out at Radio U from our main Radio U account.
No. I did not tweet from our account.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
Who tweeted that?
I did, from my personal account.
It came from ours.
No.
Did you retweet it?
No, I did not. Like, I tweeted from my account.
I don't think
Does anybody know the password to the iPad?
Just as a joke, but for some reason.
I tagged Radio U in the post.
Maybe that's why, but it caused suspicious activity on our account.
Okay, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I did.
I think you sent it from Radio U, and I think that's why we had the issue.
It's not. Okay, wait a minute. Oh, you know what? We probably deleted the tweet.
Yes, I think that was it.
Okay. That was probably part of the punishment, is the tweet had to be deleted.
Because it had the word like password and stuff in it, it flagged something. So it shut down like our Radio U Twitter account on our website and all of the apps that we use. It just caused a big ruckus yesterday.
Yeah, it was just supposed to be like a little joke.
It's supposed to be a joke, and it never just is a joke, is it?
No, it's not. Especially
Including
not me.
At the end when we got it, working fine, and then Twitter's like, and here's a list of all the rules you need to remember to follow from now on.
You're like, thanks, Twitter.
Thanks so much, Dad.
Well, you know what? Okay, my bad. I'm sure that was well received yesterday. Very exciting.
Oh, it's fine. It's fine.
Can't even just have like a little joke.
No, you can't have any fun nowadays. Not
can't
even
have a
on
little
Twitter.
Joke like, oh, did they say password? Shut everything down.
Well, I think they were just making sure that our account was not compromised in some way.
You know what? That sounds like exactly something I would do. Make a joke that breaks everything.
Well, our boss was like, what happened? Why are we suddenly having problems with, our Radio U Twitter account? And then we went through and we're like, oh, there it is. There it is.
You know what, guys? I'm not worth the effort.
You are. It's amazing how you just have the magic touch with that.
I really do. Like, give me something. I'll break it.
So you can follow at Radio U on Twitter. Now that it's all fixed.
Giving every novelty food the publicity it so blatantly desires. It's The Riot on Radio U.
So, and hey, remember, you can always text us anytime you like. We do love to hear from you, 877-2-RADIO-U. Yesterday on the show, we were talking about how Alex Trebek was back. That dude has had cancer, but he is back doing the next season of Jeopardy. It's like season 4000 or something. And we're like, yeah, but who watches Jeopardy and who knows if it's a rerun? Well, Stephanie texted us a picture.
We stand corrected. There are people that know very well the Jeopardy schedule.
She has an Alex Trebek Funko Pop.
It's so cute.
And she says, Dear The Riot, when you asked about the person who sits down to watch Jeopardy and sees that it's a rerun, they mostly play the tournaments before the new season starts. Alex is one of my biggest heroes. I watch the show every night.
So what does that mean? They play the tournaments when it's in reruns. What does that mean?
Meaning that, like, when you're watching a rerun, they typically run the tournaments,
in the
reruns
order?
Of the tournaments in order.
Gotcha.
Right leading up to a new season.
So, like, if someone won like 7 times, they're going to play all 7 episodes in order.
Those, yeah. So, like, I'm
That's
impressed.
Fine.
Like, well, it's that thing where whatever you're watching, looking at, whatever, be sure, no matter how stupid you think it is, whatever it is, there's somebody out there that loves it and follows it intensely. And if you think it's really stupid, it's probably me.
I wonder.
I'm probably the one that's out there like, this is my favorite thing.
Mystery Science Theater.
Yeah, it's fine. Go ahead. Say it.
Mystery Science Theater. That's what he likes.
One of the single greatest programs in the history of programming.
I wonder in like the world would Jeopardy probably be way more popular than Mystery Science Theater?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Like at some point, I don't know if it's when you retire or you hit a certain age, it's mandatory to watch Jeopardy.
I know. I think for a while there, younger people, like
people in their late 50s,
younger 50s,
you know,
got into it and they're like, ooh, a younger audience.
This is fun.
Yay.
We'll do College Week.
Well, that and what's the one that's always after With It or Wheel of Fortune? Like that's the evening TV choices for older people.
Oh, yeah.
This is right before bedtime.
Oh, yeah. So.
Well, Stephanie, thank you for texting us and sending us a picture. Your Funko Pop is super cute.
We're always glad to see it. And want to say hi to Jason, who says MST 3000 is great.
There's two Jasons that texted in about it.
Aren't they they're different Jasons?
Different Jasons.
And, man, we've got Jason and Chillicothe, and this isn't even other Jason.
You have so many Jasons who like Mystery Science Theater.
Listen. So thanks, guys.
It was bad enough the first time around, but now it's worse. Don't believe us? Just keep listening. You'll find out soon enough. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
And I'll have the number 8.
That's a party platter. It serves 12 people.
I know what I'm about, son.
The Riot. Food fight.
Want to say hi to Megan and Michelle. They just stopped in. They're hanging with us on the Facebooks.
When you watch a food fight, you can watch through our Radio U or Radio U Riot Facebook page. And then, of course, through Radio U Riot on our YouTube channel. There's a whole playlist for our past Riot food fights.
There is. Say hi to Austin, who says he also thinks that what we're about to experience tastes like a handful of Skittles.
That's what people say. So Dan was kind enough yesterday to bring us the Mountain Dew mystery flavor, the Voodoo flavor, which is a limited release for Mountain Dew.
It smells to me like...
it doesn't smell far off from most other Mountain Dew
I
ones.
actually think it smells like Frankenberry.
You think so? The cereal?
I do. Well, actually, no. All right. We're going to go for a deep cut here. Do you remember... Like 5 years ago, they re-released Fruit Brute, which was one of the Monster cereals, and it was like a mixed fruit flavor kind of thing. It smells like that.
Like that?
It's weird that I know that, but this is what I'm good at.
It's like, the wine people that are just like always swishing and really, really getting the nose in there to find the bouquet of smells and stuff. You're like that, but with cereals.
I smell Fruit Brute.
I smell like if you take a Skittle and it's been chewed, like not just a Skittle in the bag, but when it's actually been worked a little bit. Like if you chew it.
Why are you smelling worked Skittles?
If you chewed it in your mouth and then the flavor and the smell really starts.
Okay.
I think getting
the
out
bouquet?
there. Yeah, the bouquet.
Yeah, all right.
Now you want to drink it?
Fruit Brute.
Skittles, yeah.
It's that mix of all kinds of fruit flavors that are actually no fruit flavors.
Do you feel like on the back it tastes like a cream soda, kind of?
Yes.
Just at the very end?
If you guys can't see it really well, but maybe through the bottle, but it's like a...
I kind of feel like cream soda for something.
It's white, but it's not clear. It's not translucent.
Smoky?
It's just like... That's a good one.
That's like a ghost?
That's a good way to say it. It's a spooky ghost flavor.
I really feel like cream soda towards the end, but when you're actually drinking it in the beginning, it does taste a lot like Skittles.
Good Lord, it's sweet.
It's too sweet.
It's so sweet.
I can't see having like the entire thing as your new Mountain Dew flavor.
But we don't drink regular Mountain Dew, so for all we know, somebody drinks it and they're like, well... it's not as sweet as my normal Mountain Dew.
But it's there. Not bad, but way sweet.
Oh, I think it's delicious. I mean, I wouldn't want too much of it, but guys, take a look at this cup. I have full intentions of finishing this cup.
You're going to finish the whole thing?
Oh, yeah.
So, Skittle-like, a hint of cream towards the end. And that's what our feelings are. But it is supposed to be a mystery flavor. I don't know what they're going to, if they're going to unveil it and say this was the flavor the entire time.
Or maybe they don't know. They're just like, We don't know.
Sometimes Mountain Dew flavors are just like, well, we put these two together, and you're like, I'll just send it out. Just make it a mystery.
You know what? Whatever. They don't know. We don't know.
Thank you, Dan, again for bringing us the Mountain Dew Voodoo flavor for us to try.
You know, that's the thing with those mystery suckers. It is literally all the leftover flavors.
Oh, I didn't know that. Just what they put in there.
At least according to Chris. And you know what? I've trusted Chris with a lot of things, Nikki. So maybe we can trust him with that, too.
You want the rest of the bottle?
Why don't we put it on the break room table? I'm too scared of it. It's too scary.
You're listening to The Riot. Let's all work together today to live life with the patience of a Nikki dealing with an Obadiah.
Gotta hang in there and get through it.
You're listening to The Riot.
Oh, Nikki, I've got huge news for you.
What is it?
I'll tell you exactly what it is. Your future in space is becoming more concrete all the time.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yes.
Really just can't wait to go to space.
Yesterday, astronauts at the International Space Station made cement.
What do you mean? Oh, so like we can now build in space?
We can build stuff in space with cement.
Great.
Yeah. So they had to know, like, hey, is this something that will actually work in zero gravity? Like, can we do this without gravity? And the answer is yes, we can.
And me down here, I'm like, oh, man, darn it.
Yeah. I mean, the other thing I guess you have to ask yourself is, and I don't know the answer to this, it shows them mixing it in a container because obviously they don't want it just floating around.
But does it set and stuff?
They said so.
Does it set in space?
Well, here's the deal. They say that they haven't been able to test it because they're weightless.
Oh, sure.
So it sets, but what they're not really sure about is like, hey, how strong is this compared to, say, cement that we would make in gravity?
So I wonder, do they bring it back down then eventually, and then they could do more testing on it?
I'm sure that's probably too, because one of the things that you got to think about is part of the strength of concrete is that it has to pack densely as it finishes. And what helps it stay dense? Well, gravity does. And if there's a bunch of, I love this, if there is increased porosity, which I didn't even know was a word, but it is.
We learned a word today.
It has direct bearing on the strength of the material. Concrete in space. What a time to be alive.
Why don't you just come back at me when something's built and, you know, like a little city.
Well,
nice little city's done. I'll need internet, so that also has to be up there.
Nikki, that's the International Space Station. That's you. It's a little city in space, and they have internet.
I don't want to go to the International Space Station.
You don't?
No.
Okay.
I worry because, like, what rules do we follow? Like,
it's international law. You can do what you want.
Like, then every time I hear about international waters, anything goes. I'm a little afraid.
You know what that means, Nikki? No piracy in space, which means you can watch all the free cable you want.
No, you can steal everything.
Like, man, you can't prosecute me. It's just in the air.
I will follow this story because that's interesting.
Here's what I want to know. You're an astronaut working on the International Space Station. Is it an 8-hour workday?
I think you're always kind of around working.
Like, do you get a break? You know, do you get 8 hours to sleep? Do you get like, hey, you know, back off me, all right? There's a brand new whatever. I got to see the new episode of something.
Is it like a movie night or I don't know what you do up there.
What are you doing? And what's the vacation time like? Do you get 2 weeks off the station and then you got to go back? Is it paid?
I don't know. That sounds miserable.
And as I'm sure Nikki will want to know is what happens if I get a cold or something?
Yeah, like can they send you something up? Does your allergies bother you in space?
No, Nikki, you don't get sick in space because the only thing you take that's there is what you take with you.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the cave on Dagobah. So when you end up in there, you're like,
I'd probably manage to bring something up there. They're like, how did this get introduced into the air? Like, it's me.
They're scrubbing you down, trying to make sure that doesn't happen.
No, thank you. But yeah, keep us updated.
Well, there it is. Concrete in space. I think it's kind of cool. Nikki doesn't, but thanks for humoring me.
Yeah!
You were one of the lucky few who missed the riot when they were live. Yet here you are.
I also like to live dangerously.
This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
So I was under the impression, incorrectly as it seems, that GameStop was actually doing better. Like I had gotten the feeling that as a company, they had a rough spot, but they were kind of bouncing back. That was the feeling I got, that there was a rebound, that things were going well.
No.
And then I started to see how wrong I was.
Well, they've had issues they fired a lot of their managers
or assistants? I believe it was regional managers.
Regional managers.
It was like something, it wasn't store managers. It was like a level above store manager.
So basically what that is, when a certain level of management starts to get fired, those are people that have usually been there longer, get paid the most.
Yes.
So then
that's a cost-cutting measure.
It's a cost-cutting measure. But then they talked about how they had people who did not know how to do those jobs, that they were making them do some of those work. But then they just started firing even below the regional managers. So they just were starting to let a lot of people go. Mm-hmm. Also not a good sign. Getting rid of like the ThinkGeek stuff.
Yeah, ThinkGeek is closed.
That's another not a good sign.
GameStop stores became absolutely filled with, I don't know how long it's been since you went to GameStop, but like they just have so much memorabilia and essentially junk. I mean, it's cool stuff. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, I'm not in there buying it. I might go in
and you are the target.
Yes. I mean, I'll go in there and look at it.
But they want you to buy.
I don't go in there and buy it.
So, yeah, they've long had a hard time.
Yeah. Well, that's the word, Nikki, that GameStop not doing well, and they've handed down another little something. They're going to close 200 GameStops.
How many do they actually have?
I actually don't know the answer to that. So they say that
I would have thought you could have told me they had 200. So, like, what is it compared to their amount?
They say it's 200 around the world. So not just in the United States, but I don't know how many stores they have. But they say they are underperforming stores.
So they currently operate more than 6,600 stores globally, including 4,400 in the United States.
Wow, I had no idea the number was that high.
More than I thought it was.
Well, man, closing, okay, now if it's your job, obviously it's a big deal, but when comparatively, that's not that many stores to close. I mean, it's not good. But
they're still considered the world's largest video game retailer, and United States, and then 17 countries. So that was not what I thought. I thought like, oh, they have 250. Nope, I was wrong.
Well, in fairness, sometimes the GameStops in some areas are like Starbucks used to be, where you're just like, wow, why are there so many?
Yeah, but they're always like shuffled in a little strip center sort of thing. And unless you don't go there, like if you don't go there, you don't know it's there.
I'm just thinking of, where is that? I like this small town in Ohio that I'll go visit a friend of mine there. And it's like, there's a GameStop here. And 2 streets over is another GameStop. And I'm always like, how does it manage? How do they manage? And the answer is apparently they don't.
Remember when Best Buy kind of used to be that way? There was a lot more of them, and then they had to close down a lot too.
Yeah. Well, there it is. It sounds like they're not done for, but there's going to be some closures. And, best of luck to those of you. If you are a GameStop employee and you're looking for work, I hope you find something good. My question is, where am I going to go to trade in if I want to trade a game, where am I going to go?
One day,
nowhere?
You can't.
Yeah,
it'll all be digital. You pay for everything. You will not get any money back from selling anything.
They don't want you to trade anything in anywhere. I get it.
So that will go away. Eventually, there'll be nothing else.
You know, Nikki, when home video sales started, they were trying to figure out a way to make you pay every time you watched a movie.
Really?
Yeah.
So I'm kind of similar with the games.
Dang it.
Where do you go when you need someone to listen to your problems and give you a big hug? Not here. Obviously, this is The Riot on Radio U.
Hey, Nikki, did you go to the gym this morning?
Don't bother. I'll tell you if I do.
Okay.
Otherwise, the answer is probably going to be no.
Well, I feel like you and I have got a real problem, and that is that we were really doing well, and then how did we stop?
I don't know.
What happened?
I mean,
what happened?
It just, you can only sustain things for so long, and
the bottom fell out.
We were really going to work out in the morning before the show. Like, it was great, and I actually really like it. And then it's kind of like when you don't have carbs for a while, and then you have a piece of bread, and then you can never get back to where you were.
It's tough.
Because your mind knows, okay, well, I actually can have it. I can still sleep in.
Look at me. I'm fine.
And so you just say no, and you're like, no, I'm not getting up.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's where we're at, isn't it?
Yeah, we are. We're at a crossroads.
I need to go over and sign up because now I'm kind of gymless. So I've got to take care of that, and I haven't. And so that's my excuse.
I just don't want to get up.
Are you going to go? I'm going to get around to it probably.
And then I am notorious. This is what I do. And it's so bad. I'm like, well, I'll just wait till Monday because I want to get a nice, good week, And it's why bother? It's Wednesday.
Well, okay.
It's practically the weekend.
Do you know what's funny about that? I'm actually the other way around because I just do not do well on Monday. I don't like Monday.
So you don't want to start anything on Monday?
No. So what I'll do is I'll be like, Wednesday, now's the perfect time. It's the perfect time because I'll work and then I'll work out. Like I'll end up working out like Wednesday through Sunday. And then when I get to Monday, it's like, all right, now let's just keep at it. And
we're
like,
not doing it.
No. I can't go anywhere. It's Monday.
I know. I'm the other way. I can't tell you how many times I'm like, well, I'm going to commit to this Monday. I'll get prepared, get the bag ready to go, and then
get the bag ready.
Yeah, the bag's all packed and ready to go. There's no reason. I just don't want to get up earlier.
Maybe my favorite thing you've said all day. I'll get the bag ready.
My bag is still packed for the gym.
It's good. It's good. Well, if we've fallen off the wagon and we got to get back on the bench. Back on the pulley system.
It'd be nice, you have it's good to have a person there that you can be accountable to. So what if we said like, don't yawn while we're talking?
I got so tired thinking about having to be accountable to each other. I just can't.
So maybe we'll just say, hey, I'll meet you at
the studio just before the show starts.
No, I'll meet you at the gym at like 4:30, and then if you have
4:30,
if you have a plan, then I think it'll be easier if we have a meeting set up for that time.
Okay,
how about we do a Riot skips work early edition to the gym?
How about I meet you here? Between 5:30 and 5:45.
Well, then that's working time, so I don't know about that.
I know, but doesn't that seem perfect?
A little bit better?
We can't be gym buddies. It will go poorly. We both bought movies yesterday. We're not helping each other, Nikki.
We're enablers.
The worst of the riot is over, but the fun can keep going.
Hey, I saw you checking out my goods.
Check the Riot blog or stalk us on social media.
You want to sample them? A little try before you buy, huh?
Through riot.radiou.com.
It's weird that I'm attracted to Colonel Sanders right now.